It's Tamara's reaction for me. Like, the game that he played earlier was so funny, especially when he had to do with impostor. And what made it even more funny is when Tamara was like, it was as if Sister Mara wanted to go there and just, push her or help her or something. It was just hilarious because in this game, this very game, the 3 housemates that did theirs before her, like the 3 people on her team that did before her, they were leading. Then Mpo just came and scattered everything. It was not like, and you guys know the way the whole Team Sticks and Team Stones, they've been operating is almost like Team Stones needs to redeem, what it is with them because they've been losing. So welcome back to my channel, guys. If you are new here, please do want to subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that I can get notified each time I post a brand new video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So the second game that they played was also interesting. Actually, they had 2 interesting games today. The second one was also interesting. That one has to do with them throwing something like a dice, or just like a dice that had different things on it, and whatever it says you should do, you're going to do it. If it says put your hand on this, on yellow, you're going to put your hand, and put your hand on purple, or put your leg. So when it now gets to the point where you're stuck, or maybe you fall down on the mat, then you are going to be left out. You're going to be out of the game. So it now got to a point where Libo and Sister Mara were the only ones left, and they were literally trying to be under each other so that somebody would fall. And also it was also fun. At the end of the day, Team Stones won. Sister Mara was the last person standing. Libo made a mistake, so he had to leave the game. Then for the debating session, Themba and what they call it, Terry, they've also been at it today. And today's one was very funny because I was just asking myself, these people are forgetting that they're not debating within themselves, they're debating with another team, but they've spent the most time debating amongst themselves.
I'm not going to exclude the lid because the lid is on your border.
The lid in
I
itself,
can't exclude.
Yes, that's fine. The lid in itself will cause damage.
Unless you go to make that box thingy without a lid, then you can come to me. For now, stay there with your lid box.
I'm not talking about.
So the debate this afternoon was about, the way you recycle plastics or the way you dispose of plastics and all. And funny enough, I actually do enjoy their arguments between Terry and Themba. I like when they, do that, because honestly, watching them prepare for the debate is boring because they're literally just trying to talk to themselves. And also the whole argument back and forth, everybody proving their points. When Terry is putting her point forward, I'm like, okay, go girl, you can do this. You're making sense in your points. And then when Themba comes with this point, I'm like, Themba is also making sense. Oh yeah, give it to her. So the way I see it, I'm not even mad at all. I'm not even angry at all at them, butting heads and having the conversations or the arguments that they have. Then they had their diary room sessions, and we're just going to talk about, some of them, what some of them said in their diary room sessions that were a little bit, somehow. As for Terry, this whole Terry and Libo situation is turning into something else. Terry said a lot about him in the diary room session today. At first, she talked about the fact that herself and Mpo, they had the ideas that they had of each other was completely wrong, like because they were not able to get close to each other. That Libo was close to Mpo at the beginning, and maybe he might have been feeding her with the wrong information about Terry, and then also getting close to Terry, feeding her with the wrong information about Mpo. So that just made them have tension between themselves and not being able to connect.
When the entire time her and I actually relate on a lot of things, and the moment I prayed for negative energy to just like leave my overall space, I stopped talking to him, and it made it pretty evident on what was what.
So Terry is basically saying that Libo is bad energy. Hey, Jesus! I was supposed to feel bad or feel some type of way about that particular statement, but the reason I did not really, I didn't really take it personal is because Libo has actually used the same term or the same way to address Mpo when he mentioned that the moment he started to stay away from her, he started succeeding, things started falling in place for him. So it was almost like she was the one bringing bad energy. And there's so many other things that he said with tools in the head of house room. So it's almost like, okay, this thing is now happening to him now. But Terry just assuming that, or saying that, oh, this is Libo having bad energy. Like, that's not good. Then people asked her, what has she noticed with the energies in the house, the way things are now in the house? And she was like, right now it's hard for Libo to hide the fact that it's hard for Libo to now hide the way he is with Themba. He's just being Themba's puppy, basically.
think now it's very hard for Libo to hide the fact that he is basically, how can I put it, Themba'S puppy in some sort of way. He agrees with everything that he says.
Nah, that one, it's not good. Terry is quick to calling people other people's puppies. Like, first of all, she said Ntabi was boss puppy. Now Libo is Themba'S puppy. No, I think one thing about Terry is she's quick to see what is wrong outside of her own space. It's easy for her to see things that are wrong everywhere. She can spot things that she feels are wrong everywhere, but it's hard for her to do that with herself. So it's like self-awareness is one thing that she lacks, basically. So that was it for her diary room session. Then for Libo's diary room session, people asked him also about like the whole issue with himself and Paul, because he was making reference to the fact that this whole grouping within themselves, he tried to change the way they grouped themselves, because earlier on they picked who being Team Sticks and Team Stones. Libo was now advocating for them to change some members, like, okay, the way it's looking at this particular task, maybe it will not be good if we arrange ourselves like this, let's switch. But he noticed that Paul was not really going with it, so she didn't like the idea, and he has also noticed that Paul rather just stay away from him and avoid him.
I wanted to mix and match the teams, Big Brother, but I'm well aware that maybe Paul wouldn't prefer to be on my team. This is based on our relationship in the house. If we're not on the same page, Big Brother.
Then Big Brother was now like kind of advocating for them to reconcile. This is the way he was just putting it, like, okay, has he tried to talk to her? What method has he used to talk to her? And has he tried bringing in a mediator? Like the way he was just advocating for them to settle. And Libo was not trying to make him try to tell Biggie that he feels like if he goes to meet her and tries to apologize and everything, and she doesn't respond well, it's going to affect his energy or affect the way he's feeling that day. Maybe even it's going to extend to other days.
What I've noticed is that if I try and apologize and I get a bad reaction, it affects me and it affects how I move forward, or maybe it will affect my mood for the day or two.
And people are still trying to advocate for the whole reconciliation, and I'm like, Big Brother, it's your fault. It's you that caused all these things. You're the one that caused these things, because first of all, the task situation, the way Libo carried out the task, the way it was revealed to the housemates, like everything did not just go down well, in my opinion. Big Brother did not even say anything about it. It was Lawrence that said something about it. So it's almost like, Libo was literally thrown under the bus, and Big Brother did not deem it fit to even give him a prize for carrying out his task successfully. I don't like that. Big Brother would have at least given him something like, okay, you did this right, even if it's like a spa session or like, I don't know, something. But Big Brother just went mute on the whole situation, and it's now making it look as if, I don't know, it's making the whole situation somehow, and it's adding to the tension and the pressure. So they just had a diary room session and they did a practice debate, and funny enough, it was just Terry that was talking almost throughout for her own group. Then Ashon also spoke, but I don't think I saw Themba and Libo speaking. It was just Terry that was like defending her own group. I'm like, you all better stand up. So people were doing argumentators. I mean, people were acting as argumentators. So people were doing the whole stuff within yourselves. So you all better stand up and defend your group. So the way I'm looking at it, Team Stones, they have the upper hand in the whole debate stuff. But I don't know, tomorrow they might just surprise us. Let's see how it goes with their debate tomorrow. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye. Love you.